Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. Time for a spot of royal tea. This video is named Prince Charles in Charge. Is he going to slim down the monarchy to just himself and William and Harry and their wives and kids? There's a new travel chief. Okay, I do need to change my printer, my ink. Anyway, do you remember the 5 flights in 4 days that Harry and Meghan took? Well, they hired a new travel chief to schedule travel for all the royals. That looks like a giant virtue signal. I'm wondering if, in fact, it will curtail private flights. Here's photos of Harry and Meghan getting out in Nice to go to Elton John's as part of this extravaganza of travel. This is not Harry. That's not Meghan, and she's hiding baby Archie. So I don't believe this is Harry. I don't believe this is Meghan. I don't believe this is Archie. Let's take a look here. Okay, as for the travel chief, Queen advertises for new travel chief to make sure Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and other royals use efficient, cost-effective flights after row over private jet. The vacancy pays £85,000 a year. This person is tasked with organizing air travel, managing and scheduling royal train trips. The successful applicant will manage the taxpayer-funded royal travel. The other main thing is Prince Charles plans to strip back the royals to just William, Harry, and their wives and children when he becomes king in the wake of Andrew's scandal, as Jeremy Corbyn says the family is too big. So essentially, the royal family currently includes the 3 children of Elizabeth. Okay, Charles is the firstborn, and then there's 2 other children, and then their children are kind of royal by extension. Okay, and like Eugenie and Beatrice are Andrew's children. And that's why we hear all about them. So it would just be the firstborn Charles, and then Charles has 2 sons, which are William and Harry. And so if we're going to strip it down just to Charles, which is the firstborn, and his wife and child, then the firstborn is William and not Harry. Because Harry's like 8th in line now, 7th or 8th in line now. So, plus this is, when a new leader comes in, when a new CEO comes in, they make radical changes because they've been chomping at the bit. So you want to see some big changes. They want to come in and make reforms and sweeping changes. And that's what Charles is doing. And that's a good move. That shows that he's a leader. So will Charles slim down the monarchy to just himself, William, and Harry, their spouses and kids? Because we've got some other very hardworking royals in there. We've got Anne, and we've got Edward, and Andrew's out. Oh, we've got the no card. So is Charles going to slim down the monarchy to just William and Harry and their wives? Well, we do have the no card. So this is either no or full stop. So butterfly, just for show, and transformation, communication, Mercury, and no. 9s are almost complete. We've got a 5 change card. We've got 4 hearts, royal family card. We've got deeply rooted family and actions. Transformation of the deeply rooted family, no. Okay, so will he slim down the monarchy to just William and Harry, the wives and kids? This says no. Behind changes in the future, we have deeply rooted in family and talking. 7, 2 clubs. there's no cutting cards here. There's no cutting, there's no slashing, there's no ending. We, in fact, have the opposite. We have deeply rooted in family and activities. You know, the royal family, they do things. So I think he's actually not going to do this. It's a decision in the past, and we have Jeremy Corbyn coming out and saying, well, you know, the royal family's too big, and he's head of the Labour Party. So I think he just wants to, you know, show himself as a reformer, you know, and get his voice out there. Let's ask it another way. Will Harry and Meghan be trimmed out? Okay, because it's going pretty poorly. Charles is very upset at Harry and Meghan, and we see this over and over in the readings. So will Harry and Meghan be trimmed out of the royal family? 8 diamonds, 9 clubs. Ooh, here's a disaster card. Mustard seed, official decree, Hightower's official decree about everything. 9 and 9, 18, 5 diamonds, step by step, a process. Okay, a disaster in the rooted family. So, and this adds 21, 6 hearts, karmic relationship. So there's a distinct possibility that Harry and Meghan will be trimmed out, but it doesn't look like there's an overall plan to cut out a whole bunch of royals. Okay, because they're going to cut out Charles, the Anne and Edward. I think it's Anne and Edward, and Andrew. Andrew and Anne. Edward is her husband. So these are the children of Elizabeth and Philip. Okay, so Anne is like the hardest working royal. So they don't want to cut Anne out. She did like some crazy amount. Anne did 455 UK appearances last year and 85 overseas appearances. So she is very, very hardworking. Really keeps her head down and really represents the monarchy. So they don't want to cut her out. But they're definitely looking at cutting out Harry and Meghan, because those idiots are saying things like, well, Harry's saying, it's too stressful to be a royal. What are you going to do? Go work at Arby's? I mean, so a decree about the money, an official paper about the money, and a disaster to this rooting. So Harry and Meghan are definitely on the chopping block. Okay, so the Queen hires this new travel chief to ensure, because of this scandal with all the flights, and that's not even Harry and Meghan. They were just trying to look, like a solid family and like they're living the high life. And those are body doubles. I mean, they don't look like Harry and Meghan to me. Or Archie. Okay, so will this new travel chief greatly reduce private flights? Or is it just appearance? Are they, is this going to greatly reduce all that private jetting around? Because they love to fly their private jets everywhere. They really love that. Especially Meghan really loves that. And they doubled during this time when Harry is virtue signaling and talking about everyone's carbon footprint, the carbon footprint for flights doubled last year. They did twice as many private flights and doubled the royal family's carbon output, while Harry is, talking about how everyone else should not be flying. Okay, so is it going to trim down the private jets outside the finger of God, outside, good intentions, and committed. Okay, 3 and 7, 10, 3 hearts. 3 hearts is very sweet appearance. They're saying that this is happening. Okay, they're imposing this, they're imposing restrictions, and they want the public to see. 10 hearts and 7 hearts, 17 equals 5 hearts. A fence sitter. Cup overflowing and Star of Bethlehem. This shows that it's a very emotional issue. I don't think real changes are going to happen here. I think it's just a virtue signal. It's imposed. It's to let people know that the crown is aware, and now they're paying somebody $85,000 a year to schedule flights, and they're probably mostly going to keep taking all their private flights because they just prefer this. Okay, so Charles is making sweeping changes, and this is how you establish leadership. You walk in, you have all these great ideas, and you make big sweeping changes. So is this going to raise Charles's approval ratings? Because it should. That's what a leader does. You walk in and you make changes. And so, you know, literally, in 18 months, the Queen is retiring, and Charles is, you know, going to be Prince Regent. So he's already establishing his leadership. Is this going to raise his approval rating? Boy, that's not terribly positive. All right, so Mother Earth, Straight Razor, Veil. Okay, so secrets and cutting, 8 and 12, 10, 20 is 5 spades, blocked, cutting, veil. This is not going to raise his approval rating. People have opinions that are closely held about Charles, that they're kind of, you know, that are kind of deeply rooted, and they feel there's secrets, you know, all that stuff around Diana and her death. That's the main issue with Charles, is the death of Diana and stuff like that. Underneath, however, we have cross and inheritance. These are the two most solid cards. Charles is very solidly king. Very, very solidly. This could not be more solid. Charles is the rightful heir to the throne, and he's king. It doesn't raise his, it doesn't raise him in the esteem of, it's all water under the bridge as far as the British people are concerned. As far as the subjects of the Commonwealth are concerned. It's all water under the bridge. So Jeremy Corbyn threw his hat in the ring, and he said we should slim down, they should slim down the royal family. This is so that he can be seen as a reformer. This is a big virtue signal, so that he can be seen as a reformer. What's his motivation? Jeremy Corbyn, chief of the Labour Party, who's been in politics forever, since the 80s. Why did he do this? Okay, incubus, succubus, scourge, conflict. All the people. 6s are relationships. His job is all about relationships with all the people. Negative relationships with the people, selfishness, and conflict. 12 and 3. 15, 4 clubs. So opportunistically, he just took this opportunity to create some problems. Roses and player. He's very selfishly, he's using this as an opportunity to promote himself. So he's actually pulling a Meghan. He's using someone else's, this kind of scandal in the royal family to promote himself. It's purely selfish. It's just for him. He just wants to be part of the conflict and get some free press and some free advertising that I'm Jeremy Corbyn and I'm still here. So it's a single one-off, and it's just kind of selfish, and he's not trying to help anybody. He just wants to be part of this conflict. Interestingly, it's purely selfish. Okay, what do we have here? All right, Charles slimming down the monarchy. Is it just going to be Charles, William, and Harry going forward? No, it's not. Okay, it's not. They don't want to cut out the other children. Okay, Andrew's already lost. They don't want to lose Anne and her husband. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. It's still quite solid. They're just kind of discussing it. It's still quite solid. They don't want to lose Anne. Okay, what about, are they going to trim Harry and Meghan? Definitely on the table. Definitely on the table. Okay, because they're just not doing anyone any good, and especially themselves right now. And they can turn it around anytime. They need to just turn it around. Okay, but they're definitely on the chopping block for the future. This travel stuff, is this just, are they going to reduce the private jet use? Because Andrew lives like a billionaire. Andrew and Fergie, and that's why Fergie came back, and you know, he just lives like a billionaire he gets $250,000 a year from the Queen, but yet he lives like a billionaire. So it's all these perks, all these private jets. Are we going to see a reduction of that? No. It's just imposed there's a commitment imposed from outside for everyone's benefit, but it's the hearts are just water. And this adds 17, which is 5 hearts. Well, it depends. You know, they're going to try to make a virtue signal out of it, but it's a very emotional issue, and there's no meat to it. Yeah, they're going to hire this person. Yeah, they're going to pay them $85,000 a year, or $90,000 a year, or 85,000 pounds a year. But there's no meat to it. They're not going to reduce. They're not actually going to do this. This person is just going to sit at a desk, and it's just for appearance. So that's a great job. Maybe I should apply for that job. Okay, is Charles clear and strong leadership? Is this going to raise his approval rating? Well, he's very solidly king. There's no question about it. Okay, but it's all this water under the bridge. That is what causes Charles's rating to go down. All the stuff with Diana, all the past. He has a long history. He's a very old man. He's 71. I think he's 71. And he's been in front of the public eye all these years. And there's Jimmy Savile and Diana, and there all this stuff. And that's what, it's all this stuff under the surface that bothers people. They're not really questioning his leadership or the fact that he's king. It's the stuff under the surface that is bothering the British people. What about Jeremy Corbyn? I mean, does he want to be seen as a reformer? We need to slim down the monarchy. This is just pure selfishness on his part. It's just a pure political play. Player's a one-off and very selfish. He just wants what he wants. It's an easy gimme to get his name in the papers and to get people noticing him. Oh yeah, Jeremy Corbyn, and he's stirring the pot. 3-space scourge. He's stirring the pot very selfishly. He's not going to get hurt by any of this. It can only help him, and it gets him in the paper. But he's not trying to help anybody else, which is interesting. It's just a pure selfish move for Jeremy Corbyn. And I'm surprised the cards spoke so harshly about it. That's how I see it. That's your royalty today. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Find additional Teespring merch in the description. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment.